Is that a bit of sofa? Is it just a little bit of sofa? You have access to all the emojis.
Bear witness to the true power of the Ultima weapon.
Wait, it's all about it, play a song. Something's going on. What's this? Oh, the Sonic. I don't know why the ground's doing that. Oh, let's not sound on that. Oh yeah. So in Final Fantasy 1, as we all know, there are 6 classes in Final Fantasy 1. You can be a fighter, a white mage, a black mage, a thief, and something else. And halfway through the game, they get promoted. So the fighter becomes a warrior, a thief becomes a ninja, white mage becomes a white wizard, and so on and so forth. And they do that in this game, specifically in reference to that original. But I chose an archer. And an archer becomes a bard, and you'd like, what's the connection between archery and being a bard? Well, the connection... Oh god, no one's standing here. Why is no one standing here? Oh, I know why. Is that they both have strings. So if you can use a bow and arrow, you can play a harp. They're effectively the same thing. Oh, not free. Thank you very much. Like any other game would have been like, oh yeah, archer, ranger. They turn into a ranger, don't they? Not Final Fantasy. You know what? This might be quite difficult. Well, fuck, get out of that. Right. Yeah, there's a lot going on. So this thing on the ground means something bad's about to happen. I don't know how to fight that. Okay, they haven't moved. I should have noticed them. Yeah, that was weird. I'm not sure what happened there. push me away? I don't know if I want to be close or far doing that. Let's sing a new song. Yeah, the song of my people. Presumably the bunny people. What? There's fire everywhere. I think this is plot fire. Yes. The Heidelin, who's talking to me right now, is like a crystal sampling this out. Think of it as the Force. We win?
But the Ultima weapon is all-powerful. Why does my enemy still stand? Can her strength truly be so great?
It is the blessing of light that confounds you.
La Brea.
This is what I mean by anime, like Dragon Ball Z. No medieval
Your
politics
foe
here.
acts under the protection of the crystal she bears.
So, this is what empowers her.
Beyond mortal limits. If you are to prevail, the hammer of darkness must needs be brought to bear upon the shield of light. And so it shall, for the Ultima weapon is host to a power of which you are as yet ignorant.
Speak plainly, Ascian.
I can't believe the bad is called Ascians.
The heart of Sabik. It is the weapon's core, an enigma whose surface even the vaunted scholars of ancient Alec failed to scratch.
Bibbidi or and
The
Babbidi.
magic within has lain dormant for eons.
So
Of
that-
what magic do you speak?
A spell without parallel. Ultima.
Introduced in Final Fantasy II.
I sought the life force of the primals for no other reason but to quicken the core.
His ultimate
For the
weapon was
true
introduced in
power
Final
of
Fantasy
the Ultima weapon
4
lies
or 5?
within its now beating heart.
Atma weapon. Must be 4.
La Brea, what have you done?
No more than was necessary for my god to be reborn.
Damn you, Ascian.
So that bloke is an innocent victim. La Brea is actually that
The
simple on
hour
his face.
is at hand. Behold but a sliver of my god's power. From the deepest pit of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens, the world shall tremble. Unleash Ultima!
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's the Booyakasha finger snap thing. I just think it's funny to use it in the wrong circumstance, because you used to be able to go, sick. It's pretty good even though.
Such devastation! This was not my intention.
Oh, Heidelin, It seems the task of keeping your champion alive has exhausted what strength you had left. Van Belsar, your enemy's shield is broken. The rest I leave to you.
We will speak later, Ascian.
So the Ascians are literally trying to
But
resurrect their
first,
dead god.
I
So it's
must
like the exact
deal
opposite
with
of what
you.
Gaius wanted.
The question of who is mightier remains.
You don't have a shout, I can hear you.
Come, adventurer. Let us find the answer together.
Yeah, so this is the final fight of the original game before the little mini titans come out. And suddenly it becomes medieval politics. And, John, do you want to attack the villain? There's so much pink on the ground. Ah! Pink was a good thing or a bad thing? I think pink was a bad thing. Okay. Specific context. Directly in front of that guy. So as a general rule, if there's stuff on the ground, you shouldn't be there. I've established, I think, a good rhythm. God, something right in time. died. I'm uncertain what killed me. Perhaps this is a good time to drink tea. Just, you know, these three warriors, magicians and whatnot fighting this monster tank where somebody's just playing a lute. I hope you're doing well. You're doing great. Ooh, I think I shall accept these then. Okay, I'll do a little hop. Some of my people. Idling get it. Appreciate that, Idling. Can somebody use a limit break? Here we go!
Heed me. The subjects of a weak ruler must needs look to a higher power for providence, and their dependence comes at a cost to the realm. The misguided elevate the frail, and the frail lead the people astray.
Nah, it's just Nazi propaganda, buddy.
Unless a man of power wrests control, the cycle will never be broken. You of all people must see the truth in this. You who have the strength to rule.
Cool. Yeah, for some reason I didn't consider that I hadn't actually finished the little boss fights. Ah, honey ladies have got no trousers. How embarrassing. Right. It's like that nightmare where you've got to do an exam and you've got no clothes on. But that exam is a fuck off girt monster that's going to destroy the world. Right, let's do this cutscene again.
Are you giddy of...
So I'm going to be skipping to catch up where I was.
I, Nanamo, 17th in the line of Ul, welcome you to our city. Although...
As you wish. Allah.
Those who...
So because Final Fantasy 7, sorry, not because Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 all had like short characters because they're SNES games, and like the classic mage look is in those games. They've made short characters so the mages can be the short characters.
I, for one, think it's a marvelous idea. Lady
Yeah, this guy is just as evil as the other guy. He's just smarter
and there
about
are
it.
parts of...
The head of the Mirage Trust is...
I agree. That said, these are foreign refugees.
One of my favourite plot points, I mentioned this before when no one was here, but one of my favourite plot points is when this guy figures out who the baddie is, he just immediately murders him. just goes, "It's you fucking did this," and just like does stuff. Now, in the long run, that's pretty stupid of him, but like I appreciate somebody like identifying a villain and going, not going, there's nothing we can do. He's done the politics. No, he just goes, "Fuck that guy, stop!" Like, and I appreciate, like, yeah. Turns out he was playing into somebody else's hands. There's two villains, not just the one. But yeah, because he just a thing happens, and it's just great when it happens. Like I genuinely cheered when he did it. It's so annoying when people just like, "Oh well, our hands are tied. There's nothing we can do about this." Like you really can't just murder like a member of the syndicate. He does get thrown in jail for it.
Even now, our streets are choked.
But you
they
can
live hand to mouth.
You can see why he'd kill him.
On aid provided by the immortal flames, the cost of which grows ever higher.
It's a truly inspired performance by Lolorito there.
The wealth of Ul'dah is not without limits, my friends. And need I remind you that these refugees, without...
Some say the chairman of the East...
I'll skip through some of this.
Surely the Sultanate can support the few hundred domins, Lady Yu. I move that an exception be made.
An exception, Your Grace?
An exception, Your Grace?
What were your words? Mayhap our wise and...
Mind your tongue, Lolorito.
My lord, I share your concern for the welfare of our great nation, but we must endeavor to take a longer view. You know as well as I that people can be a resource still more precious than gil.
Also, like, yeah, he's known as the Mad Bull, and all the way through the game I was like, yeah, but why do they call him the Mad... okay, fair enough, it's the Mad Bull, got it. Don't piss off the Mad Bull.
Precious or not, they were never yet so reliable. And unlike those who frequent your establishment, I have no desire to gamble with my future. Ul'dah's greatest asset is, and has ever been, her material wealth. We risk this at our peril.
Okay, Lolorito, he's a couple of nudges away from the narrator from Stanley Parable and Stephen Toast.
One need only look to Teleji Adeleji's example for evidence of the danger in allowing sentiment to dictate policy. How far the vaunted Mirage have fallen, both in repute and profitability, since he began employing refugees.
So yeah, in the plot, in the quests, somebody is deliberately, like, stirring unrest and blaming the refugees for it as well.
How I choose to conduct my affairs is not your concern, my lord.
A proposal has been tabled. Given its urgency, I move we forego further debate and call a vote.
Yeah, Raban's accent's not great, unfortunately. They do, and annoyingly, they do change everyone's voices as soon as the next expansion pack comes out.
To accept the Doman refugees or not. Those in favor, I bid you remain. Those opposed, I bid you leave.
What was I going to say? Oh yeah, Doma. I said this before as well. But Doma's from Final Fantasy VI. Doma is the place that Kefka poisons the water. Kefka does a war crime. It's quite a famous moment. So it's like when they introduce the Domans, it's like, oh yeah, of course, they've been destroyed by the Empire. That makes sense. Yeah, Raban's accent reminds me of the woman in Stranger Things, the mother. No, not that mother. She's from old films.
Would that it were within my power to welcome you and your people, Lady Yugiri. As you have observed, however, my authority in such matters is regrettably limited.
Oh, what's her name? She's from Beetlejuice and Heathers, but she's not great at acts. She wasn't great. She's gotten better. What film is it? With Gary Oldman and Bill and Ted, the vampire one. But she says the word most, I would like to. I would be most happy if you would. And it's like a sort of thing Americans used to do when doing British accents. Is they just lean on to like the one sound they can do, and it just sounds sort of really weird. He's sort of doing that. I would be most happy if you would do that. Anyway.
Without the consent of the Syndicate, I cannot act.
I understand, Your Grace, and I appreciate all that you have done on our behalf.
The nerve of the man! If that bastard had not forsaken the eastern trade route, little Alamigo would now be thriving.
So Little Alamigo is Alamigo is actually where Raban comes from. A load of the people come from there. It was a country, but Little Alamigo is a town with all the refugees from Alamigo. They refuse to go to the big city because they're an independent nation. And
oh, that you should have travelled so far under such dire circumstances, only to be refused in this manner is utterly unconscionable. Pray, accept my sincerest apologies.
Now that the Empire no longer poses an immediate threat, they see little reason to maintain the pretense of unity.
He's not bad. I'm just noticed you just notice accents.
The Monitors have grown especially defiant of late. Lord Lolorito most of all. But this is neither the time nor place for that discussion.
I am a rabbit lady. Fun. Welcome back. Getting some lilac purple dye. Quest complete. Look at this fuzzy little creature. Right, what am I doing? Don't get distracted. Okay, so I've done all of these now. I've got a bunch of money to spend. I'm not going to do that because I'll just fail horribly. We'll leave those extreme ones until a little bit later. I need a little bit of practice, but I do want to do the Binding Coil of Bahamut. So I can continue the plot there. Promises to keep. As you observed, Lolorito is not afraid to speak his mind, nor is he like to change it. Oft has I wondered how a man so skilled at weighing... I waste no more words on him, not when the Domans are yet in need of aid. I will stop the accent now, come forward. Everyone follow me to the Hall of Flames. Because we're in the desert, the flames are the name of the city guard. Never changing you, Dust Bunny. Hang on, we're both bunnies. Where am I going? It's 1 AM. Ban, why couldn't you have just told me the thing you were going to say over there? Syndicate has spoken and I see no point in moving that the matter be reconsidered. The Monitarists have made their position clear. Agreed, although it's not an option. Nor are Limsa, Laminsa or Gudania, the other capital cities of the game, I judge, given the state of their internal affairs, it leaves our domain friends confined to a ship. Gods, the thought of them huddled in an airless hold, no hope for better treatment. Would that I would have more time to find an alternative, a place not bound by the concerns of the great nations. Nope, he doesn't have an idea, okay. Oh yeah, it's absurd. Minfilia, this is precisely what I wish to discuss. I understand the Syndicate's decision, I do. We all wish to preserve that which is ours, especially when we believe it to be under siege. But I cannot meekly accept this judgment, not while my people suffer. Would it be out of the question for the Sultanate to accept us for a limited time, a week, mayhap, even just a few days? Excellent, I should keep you informed. Lady Yuguri, I have a proposal, if you would hear it. Out with it, Master Alphano. Headquarters of my order, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, stand in the place called Revenant's Toll, an outpost in Mordona. Like most outposts, it's frequented by mercenaries and other men of action, and lacks the comforts of more well-established settlements. However, the leaders of Revenant's Toll have been doing the utmost to change that. So, at the start of the game, we're in a special team, Scions. They go like, "Yay, you've got magical powers, you should join us. We're going to try and save the world." But at a certain point, we're like, you know what? We're sort of beholden to these states. So we're going to have to move our headquarters outside. If we're to be the Avengers, we can't really be the Avengers of just America. That would be bad. We should be sitting outside the countries, and then they can help us. So, like, that's the thing that happened. One of the individuals willing to work front his hands. Hard labour, lest you doubt. Not save food and shelter the way you want. Jobs not unlike those of which you yourself promised, Lady Yukuri. Though I would not hear a word said about our beloved Older, Revenant Tolls would be offer certain advantages, the absence of an unhelpful bureaucracy being the most obvious. If they can accommodate us all, we'll gladly accept. Master Alphano, once again find yourself in your debt. This is what I mean by Alphano's confidence. He keeps achieving things, but like he's not realizing like the gaping weakness that he has in doing so. Mayhap the Old Down Adventurers Guild can be of assistance. Look for me there anon, Naive. Lady Ugly. If you and your people would accompany me, we may discuss what aid the Immortal Flames can provide. And I'm only reading out loud the dialogue that is the main quest. Because I've tried reading everything before, and that's exhausting. It's just like that. Muggle! Rowena. Yes. Don't have any primal gear. And I don't quite have enough for the Rosenbogen. Also, I don't want the Rosenbogen because of reasons. But what I do want. So, how can I tell what I'm wearing? How do we compare? I would like to compare, please. Let me compare. Okay, I've got one of those. Van bases. Futuristic trousers, mayhap. Kind of look like I'm already wearing futuristic trousers. I'll go for the expensive one. Oh, I'm wearing the Bard's tights. Never mind. Oh, the boots are so big. You just can't tell. Okay, fair enough. Oh, we will do that gear set. We do have a helmet. I'm hiding it right now. Oh no, we don't have a helmet. My helmet is... I've used magic to make my helmet look like a pair of glasses. I don't know how you turn that off. But I can have a... Oh no, I changed it to that as well. probably want to undo that afterwards. Anyway. What am I doing? Yeah, the lizard people look like this. So they were apparently going to do proper lizard people, but then they got scared at the last minute and just made them like anime people, but with bits of scales on them. A shame. Let's listen to the God Source music. That person's got a baby behemoth. It's not a behemoth, that's a pig. That's a purple pig. More like behemoth. It's a giant baby one. We are concerned that the Doman refugees may find a journey to Revenant's Toll too much to bear. Too long have they been sequestered aboard their ship with insufficient supplies and scarce room enough to breathe, let alone stretch their limbs. That in mind, Mistress Momedy has kindly offered to accommodate the Domans till such time as they are ready to set out for more Dona. Those healthy enough to travel will embark as soon as transportation has been secured, while those too weak to leave at once will be permitted to stay till they regain their strength. So if you go into a hotel in these games and log out, you can you log out by lying in the bed and going to sleep. And if you're one of the short people, they have to roll several times before they get to the centre of the bed. The little detail I appreciate. Transportation remains our greatest obstacle, General. Is there aught that the immortal flames can do? But I also like that they walk like that. I fear that exceeds our mandate. Oh, I accidentally went through that really fast. When government fails to act, the responsibility falls to us private citizens. We will engage in the services of the 77 caravans on the domain's behalf. Very well. We should begin contract negotiations at once. Your generosity is most welcome, my lord. After all that has befallen these good people, it is the least I can do. Come what may, you shall ever be a friend of Uldar, Lady Yuguri. And you and Revenant's Toll, my lord. Well, it sounds like we all have work to do, Lady Yuguri. Let's put our heads together and settle the details of our arrangement, shall we? I would entrust the task of escorting our domain friends to you. After you have rested your road-weary legs, of course. What say you? So the futuristic gear is because... hang on, what was it? Oh yeah, there's a tower in this game. Hang on, why don't I have access to that tower? Did I do it already? Oh, I did it already. Doesn't it? Do I have more of that to do? So the lamp, what I've like this dungeon here is a reference to Final Fantasy III's final dungeon, and there should be 2 more sets of floors. I will have to go find them. Been distracted by trying to do all the plot. At some point they'll make me go back to that other place. Uguli's game. Vesper Bay. Fleet Domans prepare for departure at Vesper Bay, where from they will be transported by carriage to Uldar. That said, this has all been decided rather suddenly. It would not surprise me if refugees required some assistance in coordinating their preparations. Naev, I would have you return to Vesper Bay and facilitate the process through tasks, great and small, and short, whatever needs to be done, do it. Speak with a man named Hodan when you arrive. Lady Yugli tells it he has been designated leader of the first group. Where is that? That is Vesper Bay. That is not... I'm going to quickly teleport somewhere else. Yes, the Maelstrom. Also, it's literally just occurred to me... Oh, no, I can't fly. Oh, I can. I can fly, yes. I am on a bird after all. You can't fly until you get until you do that final quest at level 50, the final quest in the first game. But they did the opposite of of Warcraft. In this, they were like, you know what? Everything can fly. If you have a vehicle that can drive, it can fly as well. What am I looking for? I'm looking at the quest. If only I had a map. Did I go the wrong way? I might have gone the wrong way. How do I go up? Okay. Must be the other side. Yeah, it was nice to open up. There. Ah, here are the quests. To the lake. Prosperity. Greatia is ready to address the assembled fellowship of Noah. So, in Final Fantasy III, the plot of that game, because Final Fantasy III is sort of the first one that has an actual plot, is the main villain, he was taught by a dude, a grand wizard called Noah. And Noah gave like presents, and he was like, "But I wanted immortality. How dare you not give me immortality, you bastard!" And so he becomes the villain. There's more to it than that. Anyway, so there's an entire plot to do with this magical tower, and it's like just the plot of Final Fantasy III. It's a really weird decision. I really like it. It's like a reinterpretation of Final Fantasy III's story, and the implication is that Final Fantasy III happened in this world thousands of years ago. So it's going to be really fun going into the dungeon going, oh, I know these things. And it's like, when you do Final Fantasy III, to get to the final dungeon, you have this outer dungeon, and then there's an under, just called the Labyrinth, which I've done. There's a bit called Eureka, which is this cave system underneath, and then you climb the Crystal Tower. And they've made those the 3 dungeons of this particular plotline, which I believe you're now forced to do. So I actually do have to do these. Fellowship of Noah is being accounted for. It is time this assembly was a call to order. The other thing which is interesting, to me anyway, is Final Fantasy 1 has a generic storyline where there are 4 crystals. It doesn't have a generic storyline. What am I talking about? It doesn't have any storyline. But also it's got a weird as fuck Japanese time travel thing going on. Anyway, there's 4 crystals, 4 elemental crystals, and to save the world, the 4 warriors of light must gather crystals and defeat chaos. In Final Fantasy 3, they revisit that concept. They combine Final Fantasy 2's rip-off Star Wars Empire storyline with Final Fantasy 1's weirdly underdeveloped foundation about crystals, and they say, "Oh yeah, no, you've got to collect the 4 crystals again." But this time you get given jobs by the crystals, but you have to restore the balance, and the balance is different because the implication is that the 4 warriors of light come along and restore the balance, and then there's 4 warriors of dark, and the real villain. Yeah, the sentient crystal helped us out during the boss fight earlier, Heidelin. And so the real villain of Final Fantasy III isn't the tyrant Xande. There's actually a woman called a creature known as Cloud of Darkness. That is a creature of the void. And the implication is that there are dark eras and there are light eras, but both of those are better than the void. The void is just nothingness. And so, the dark and light combine to defeat the void. But this game, the void is a thing. It carries on the concept of the void being this presence. And we get to fight. Cloud of Darkness is the final boss of that dungeon. We get to see all the bosses, basically, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing them now that I know who they are. Fellowship of Noah is being accounted for. It's time this assembly was called to order. Rambrose will be presiding over the meeting. You'd be so kind as to inform him as your readiness to proceed. Welcome back, Naive. I've been reading about your encounter in the Labyrinth of the Ancients. It pleases me greatly to note that you seem none the worse for your experience. For your reference, I've added my own notes to Graha's prelim expedition report and begun compiling a Crystal Tower survey log. The information contained therein will be available to you at all times. Should you have any questions? Oh, Final Fantasy 3 also introduced the idea of because Final Fantasy 1's a standoff game, right? Standalone game. But Final Fantasy 3 says, there were warriors before us, there were warriors before us, there were warriors. And Final Fantasy 5 does the crystal things as well. And Final Fantasy 5 also has the void. That's it, that's the one. And at the time, because Final Fantasy 6 is the one that everyone loves, right? I like 5 more. But 5 has a sort of more generic. That it goes back to the crystals again, I can see why people were like, "Oh God, you're just retreading old ground." But it means that 1, 3, and 5, technically speaking, could take place in the same universe. They definitely don't. But in this game, I think they do. I think all 3 of those games exist in the different eras, adjusted. But because 5 definitely has the void. That's how the villain's weapon is the void again, and it's the same. But he's also an evil tree. In 5. Always really funny. For your reference, I've added my own notes to Graha's prelim expedition report. Begun compiling a Crystal Towers survey log. The information contained therein. Oh yeah, I read this. Now, if there's no objections, I'll begin the summary expedition's key accomplishments. Yeah. Quest complete. In the course of this, our first foray into the grounds of the Crystal Tower. In this, Noah is just the name of the expedition, because they just want to use the names that were in that game as well. We succeeded in neutralizing the structure's outer defenses before proceeding to secure the maze surrounding the base of the spire. To get into the dungeon, you have to turn off 6 statues, and in Final Fantasy 3, that was a part of the game as well. It's nice. I enjoy the references. According to the Naive's account, the labyrinth's defenses were most emphatically active. Disturbingly, her report also mentions a violent encounter with a sentry heavily augmented by Allagan technology. I very much enjoy that to get Final Fantasy XIV going, they just decided we're going to take everything. All Final Fantasies reference earlier ones, but this one just goes, fuck it, everything. We're putting everything in. Like, does it make sense? We'll make it make sense. Everything's in here somewhere. Which is why there's like a gun blade and stuff like that. Like, yeah. Like that kid over there. He's Wedge, technically from Star Wars, but Biggs and Wedge are in every single Final Fantasy, as is Sid. And Sid is usually an engineer. Our misgivings were well founded. Crystal Tower was not simply thrust above ground by the chaotic shifting of Earth. It was somehow been reawoken. If it seems increasingly likely the Tower secrets should prove too dangerous to share with the world, we'll have no choice but to contain them. Short of levelling the place will almost certainly involve returning the mechanisms to a state of dormancy. To do that, however, we'll first need to address the question of how they work, the answer to which must be surely waiting for us inside the tower itself. In conclusion, that is where we must go. Fight lots of monsters. Task easier said than done. Perils of this labyrinth. That is a cat man. Are any indication. Then I move that all further exploration of the tower be delayed until such time as exhaustive analysis of the structure's defences have been completed. Master Garland, I may entrust this task to you. Be my pleasure. I'm trying to eyeball that emoji. I'm quite far away from the screen. Well, don't forget us. Like you said, Chief, founded the Ironworks to make sure that technology was used for the right reasons. That means making sure it's not used for the wrong ones. We wouldn't be doing our jobs if we do not see this to the end. Lads! Well, I hope you're ready for some back-breaking chores. Well, everything seems to be in hand, dear, so I'll take my leave. So, Gra has introduced literally just for this one plot, and it's quite funny that he has the two different colour eyes, because like I did that for my rabbit as well, but that's not the point. I don't know if we see him after this, but like he just happens to be relevant to the Crystal Towers plot. He's got like an old bloodline he doesn't know about. I should take my leave for you in the present. I am witness to this valiant tale unfold in mine own eyes. I must need to hone my martial skills ere we ascend the spire. You'll do nothing of the sort, Graha. Your knowledge may prove useful to Master Garland's investigation. As an observer, I'm not strictly speaking subject to your authority. His tattoo there means he's a scion of the Seventh Dawn. I don't know what that tattoo there means. May not mistake my intent, Naive. So the person... yes. They put a lot of it. The writing in this, I think, is connected to the fighting for Final Fantasy 16 as well. Somebody putting a lot of effort into making sure the dialogue is authentic as well. I am well aware I shall never be a match for one of your innate talents, however hard I train. Be that as it may, I pray do not allow your skills to rust from disuse during the coming pause. We need you fighting fit for subsequent forays as to prove as productive as this one. Mark me. We have not yet caught more than the briefest glimpse, of which time is obscured. Soon, however, we shall cast off the veil and gaze upon the glory of Allagan Empire. Oh yeah, so Final Fantasy VII has a place called Gold Saucer, and it's a theme park. And this game has the Gold Saucer theme park as well. But when this game came out, the Viera, the Rabbit Women, weren't in that game yet. They were introduced with an expansion. But like, the staff at the Gold Saucer, some of them wear like Playboy bunny outfits. So somebody pointed out, when the Rabbit Women like came to this part of the land, how would they have felt that like there are these people like going out their way to dress up like bunny? Yeah, it's sort of, yeah, because it would be what's the word, like appropriative. We'll need you fighting fit for our subsequent foray. Yes. And with that encouraging thought in mind, it is time to bring this assembly to a close. Let's all focus on the tasks at hand, that our next expedition may begin all the sooner. Oh yes, I just realised they didn't add rabbit men into the game, so like 2 expansions afterwards as well, after much demand. There he is. There's Sting. He doesn't have his armor on right now. We didn't kill him. Such a terrible mess. It does leave the door wide open, so to speak. Spoiler warning. That's dude we fought earlier. One cannot help but be impressed. I'm beginning to understand the reliance you place on adventurers, old friend. He's doing a heel face turn. So this is the legacy of the Allagan Empire left behind. My readings are correct. The energy source waiting atop the tower is a match for even the ultimate weapon. Nay, more than a match. A new toy for me to play with. Nero! I believe the fates had conspired to deny me just rewards once again, but it would seem they had greater destiny in mind for me. And so long as my ambition burns, I will strive to seize it. Dream lives on, Cid. Do not disappoint me. So everyone from the Empire has a third eye. That includes Cid. That's why he wears the goggles so you can't see it. Syrcus Tower, that's what it's called, yes. I have no idea why Syrcus is spelled that way. Stop doing that! Okay. Bloody sofa. Ruddy sofa. Ah, it is you, my friend. You are doubtless eager to hear our progress on the Crystal Tower. Fun. Excellent. I will be disappointed to hear otherwise. Of course, disappointed is the word of the day, I fear. I am ashamed to say there is nothing worthwhile to report. The suns continue to probe the labyrinth of the ancients, and every day brings new discoveries. Alas, the same cannot be said of the Crystal Tower proper. We have not been able to set so much as a single foot inside of it. Sometimes it does... Oh yeah, I see. It's worse when there's like something up here. But I've got to be vigilant. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so... Because there were like little mini expansions, the reason they're like, oh, welcome back, is because you would have originally had to wait a couple of months before you got this content. You'll recall how the 8 sentinels... Oh, I said 6 before, I meant 8. Stood between us and the labyrinth initially. In like manner, the entryway to the principal spire, Syrcus Tower, the Allagans called it, is also protected by technology far more advanced than our own. Cid and I have tried every trick we know, but without success. Frankly speaking, we're at a loss. It is discouraging. We cannot give up. There must be a way in. And so the situation stands, my friend. Until we gain entry into the tower, I fear your talents shan't avail us. It will require time that I am loath to waste. But I have mind to set my people to scouring such ancient texts we have on hand. Perhaps we can be of assistance. You are. Be at ease, friends. We share the self-same goal. I am Une. My companion is Doga. So Une and Doga were in Final Fantasy VI. They were both old people in Final Fantasy VI. Because Noah the wizard had 3 apprentices. It was Xande, Noah, and Une, and he gave them each a power. And you have to fight Une and Doga, and when you defeat them, they're like, cool, you now have our powers, you can defeat Xande. So how they've turned up here as young people, I don't know, this is pretty weird, eh? How's that possible? Now, they have changed the plot a bit. This is definitely a new Une and a new Doga. But because they're scholars of the Allagan civilization sent by the students of Baldessian, persist in your endeavour. I've forgotten who Baldessian is. Oh, I think students of Baldessian are just like Cid's friends. Une and Doga. Rather unusual names for this day and age. I might be forgiven for observing. Yeah, oh yeah, Une and Doga just completely sounds different from... Oh, stands out. You claim to be here on students' behest, but we've received nary a word of your coming. I'm not sure. Also, you've got like these nifty green clothes. You're matching. It's sort of weird. I'm not sure your ticket is a missive. We seem somewhat doubtful. We can assume that the message failed to reach you due to some mishap. I assure you, we are here to help. So the reason he's got a red eye is because it's his lineage. He's got the same. He's a spoiler warning. He's got the same blood as Dogo and Unai, and that blood gives you red eyes. Ah, 'tis nothing. Which there was nothing in the original plot. That there was a pain, but it subsided. Well, it's rather unexpected. Your right eye is the same as us. The same? You have the Alakan eye as well. Sanguine hue is said to be a trait unique to the Alagans. I'd inherited from my father, as he did from his. Only one child in a generation is born with the eye. All my life I have sought to learn the truth of its manifestation. It is aught... Okay, I just explained the thing that the game was just about to explain anyway. You know, I implore you to tell me. My deepest apologies, but we have no answers for you. Only one thing is certain. Those who possess the trait are bound by fate to Alag. As your eyes have placed you upon the path you walk, so too we have come here to fulfill our destiny. Absurd though it may sound, it is the truth. It seems we have naught to lose by accepting the aid, say you. If that is your wish, then so be it. We're very easily tricked in this game, because people just come up to us and go, do you want stuff? And we go, yeah, of course. And just, maybe, fuck it, that's fine. And, yet, know that I mean, they're goodies, but like, at least several villains have done exactly the same thing, and we've gone, okay. Verify your story with the students of Baldessian when I am able. I trust there'll be no objections. This is one of the few times that somebody goes, very well. As of this moment, I name Unai and Dogo advisory members of Noah. Without further ado, let us have them examine the Syrcus Tower entrance. I promise you not to cause... You won't regret it. I should be much obliged. If you were to accompany our new friends to the tower, Briggs and Wedge, presently surveying the 8 sentinels, 2 of them can show you the way. Upon arrival, pray report to Master Garland. He'll be brief, and he'll brief you. He definitely won't be brief. He will brief you on the situation, though. I shall join you now. Unai and Dogo's knowledge, along with your uncanny knack for settling murdering shit. Hopefully, we'll get progress. Okay. So yeah, you get this mech for doing the final quest, but it is the mech from Final Fantasy VI at the start, as is this music. Hit the invisible wall. I like that the invisible wall isn't invisible in this game, it's a literal force field. I don't like this. Oh, I literally landed. Can't fly here. Perhaps get our bird some shoes. Well, if it isn't naive, eager to enter Syrcus Tower and kill everything in sight, no doubt. As I'm sure you've already heard, though, the place is locked up as tight as a clam. New friends from the students, you say? Excellent. It's been slow going. Don't press that button, John, because it will just advance the words when you don't want them to. You've got to push him on the hand. So yeah, my armor set is from this place, basically. That's why I'm a future bunny in a world full of medieval people. Ah, some odd faces to lift the spirit, and a couple of new ones besides. Allow me to introduce Une and Doga. They are scholars of ancient Alag, sent here by my friends of Baldassian to aid the investigation. We understand that you're having trouble circumventing the tower's defences. There's a hope that we can help. We want to help. Can we help? Help? Your attires ought to go by your assistance should prove invaluable indeed. To begin with, let me tell you where we stand. Beyond Vi's Syrcus Tower, principal spire of the structure collectively known as the Crystal Tower. The only way to get in is through the provincial front door, the imposing gate you see here. The problem is, we can't get it to open. It's sealed by some mechanism. Workings are an utter mystery to me. Having had no success by the more orthodox methods, I went at it with everything from pickaxe to magic cannon. Nothing so much as put a scratch on it. It's almost as if there needs to be like a pair of people, possibly a royal lineage, and that they must put their hands on it. I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting the feeling there needs to be like a couple. They got a push to put their hand. I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting that feeling. For blessing, but that doesn't make it any less effective. Security measure. The only clue is this elaborate device carved into it. A man and a woman, respectant, Allegan royalty by my judgment. Oh, if only we knew some Allegan royalty. Where could we possibly find some of them? Precisely who these individuals were, we cannot say, nor do we know whether... I certainly don't know both their names. The device actually serves a purpose, like as not, it is purely decorative. JRPGs fucking love nodding. Everyone, what's the first thing we're going to program? The combat? No! They need to be able to nod to each other. It's the first, like, as soon as they hit 3D, it was the first thing they programmed. If you're thinking to force it, save your strength, it's no use. Just ask the calluses on my hands. Although my favourite, very anime thing is the shaking head. Because you only anime do people shake their heads in that fashion. And I don't think, like, it's not in this game, but I think it tells the Berseria has somebody do no, like that. Yes, anyway. Rest assured, we do not mean to waste our strength. Indeed, why should we exert ourselves when the gate will open its own accord? So you know how I didn't really like the ending to AI Somnium Files because I just don't think it earned that dance. If these two started an elaborate dance, I think the game would have earned it. Even by just the bit you saw. Like, we've spent like a goddamn hour talking about this place. It's earned a 4-minute dance sequence. Sadly, we're not getting a 4-minute dance sequence. But if it had, you know, I think it would have been well earned. Why should we exert ourselves when the gate will open of its own accord? Though I do now have that song in my head. I didn't think it was a very good song either, but we kept repeating it, so I remember it. I don't think any of us expected... Nope, not one of us expected that to happen. Seven hells, what is this? What did you do? What Io? Piercing the heavens and gathering the light, the symbol of mankind's glory and might. So this game literally has assets from Final Fantasy XII. So it's got PlayStation 2 assets in it. You can occasionally see, like, from some of their armor. The jagged lines. The very clear jagged line. It's like an interesting mix of like very detailed and not very detailed. Its virtue guarded by gates impregnable, only to those of royal blood answerable. That is an awful rhyme. Who made that poem? Exactly as passed down through legend, I am delighted to see. Get out of here with your rubbish rhyme. Beg pardons for interrupting your bewilderment. I couldn't help but notice the remarkable playthings you have acquired. Nero, you're still alive. I thought we exploded you. Like, Ultima exploded everything in like a mile radius. Garland, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you weren't happy to see me. But I jest. In light of our recent meetings, you have every right to be wary. Here's our Vegeta. But rest assured, I am no longer a threat to you. My legion is for all intents and purposes defunct. My association with it means a tight noose awaits me back in Garlemald. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, they didn't really want that legion to go out and try and take over the world. And for it to have failed so spectacularly, it's like, it has political ramifications on their end. The Empire isn't just like one dude that gets to send out an army. That I think that was literally the 14th Legion. But like, they've got their own country doing stuff. Rest assured, yes. Of course, in the course of my wanderings, I catch the chance to catch wind of your latest venture. He doesn't really look that much like Sting, but he does remind me of Sting from Dune, whose name was Fade, which is the first time, like, it's almost on the nose as a name. It's spelt F-A-Y-D, I think. Well, but it's a word already. It's Fade. But like Star Ocean has a character called Fate, F-A-Y-T, and like, but he's not just called Fate. He's called Fate Line God, but Line is spelled L-E-I-N. Well, God. Yeah. And I'm like, that's incredibly on the nose, Star Ocean. Fate Line God. But, so yeah, Fade is positively subtle in comparison. I think it's that. Anyway. He's well happy to find scientists. After the wrongs you've committed, you think us that gullible? In a really weird way. If you're suspicious of my intent, it is only just deserts, but I am determined to make amends. As a gesture of goodwill, I will share with you what I know, starting with these two odd characters. As you are doubtless aware, the Crystal Tower was a symbol of ancient Alag's might and prosperity. Entry was permitted only to royalty and a select few individuals. According to the records I have unearthed, only royal blood can open the gate. In other words, the Emperor and his progeny are the living keys. You mean to say that these two are descended from Alagan royalty? No. Oh, I suggest nothing so glamorous. Put it plain, they are imitations of royalty, living keys of Alagan ingenuity. Clones, I believe, is the name your creators gave your kind. Is that not so? I just want to check something. So I think there's a random monster, like one random monster in Final Fantasy III, which is a clone, and somebody decided, oh, that means they have cloning technology. That means everything can be cloned. Like, we can say it's 1,000 years later and just clone every single character, and the implication is like, oh, it's a technology. So the Crystal Tower was always had, like, ancient technology that was futuristic. So yeah, somebody was just went, oh, we can just justify bringing all of them back and just say, yeah, all the machines just, you know, they were automatic, they've been going on 1,000 years, they've been a bit weird. Everyone's back, baby. Clones. And I can imagine just somebody looking through the files going, by Jove, I figured it out. Clones. They can all be clones. It's just a kind of stroke of genius. I think there is like one random reference to cloning and just like, cool, we're taking that. Twould seem the time for concealment is past. Pray accept our apologies. It was not our intent to deceive. We simply wish to avoid causing undue alarm by prematurely making what many consider deranged claims. If it would please you, let us return to the 8 Sentinels. There's much more to tell. Very well. We don't need to go anywhere else, but we want the cutscene to have a different visual background, so we're gonna. Someone else, do you seriously mean to follow us around? Yeah, I think we... Yeah, that guy should definitely be in a prison. Like, he definitely committed war crimes. But whatever, he's following us around now. Come on, Garland, you know me better than to think that I spoke in jest. What more will it take for us to be reconciled? A gift, perhaps? He built Ultima Weapon. Like, the world-ending weapon. No, he didn't. Sorry, that's a lie. They found Ultima Weapon deep underground. He fixed Ultima Weapon. Yeah, Ultima Weapon is Allagan. It's a tombstone. It holds the information I just shared with you, and a deal more besides. It used to be jealously guarded property of the 14th, because it's Final Fantasy 14. Legion, but it's yours now. I wish you joy of it. Yes. I look forward to working together, old friend. There is... So I had a chain of thoughts, and I'm going to jump to the end of the chain rather than going all the way through. On the subreddit, there's a potion in this game. I think I've got the potion as well. They give it to new players, but you can buy it, right? I think it's called a Fantasia potion. And with the Fantasia potion, if you really want to, you can change your character to be any race, any gender. You can change everything about them. I think you have to pay to change their name, but like, you can buy the potion with real life money, I think. But there's a meme on the Final Fantasy subreddit, and it's Frodo. No, it's Bilbo Baggins. And you know where he gets the ring, because it's an evil ring, and he says, why not? Why shouldn't I keep the ring? Because it's already had a hold of him. But instead of Bilbo, they've replaced it with one of the short people, and he's saying, why not? Why shouldn't I be a rabbit lady? Yeah, and I was just reminded of that. If you're ready to you could probably guess how my brain got to that. If you're ready to listen, we should tell you all. As it pertains closely to your investigations, your leader, Rambros, may wish to be present. Before we begin, pray allow me to apologize again. It was not our intent to deceive you. As you have already gathered, we are not scholars sent... Oh my word, they're not scholars sent by students of Baldessian. Nay, we are clones, copies of people who once existed, given life through Allegan technology. It is rather a lot to take in. It would not have been considered unseemly. Might I ask you why you and yours were created? More specifically, what it is you seek now to do. Answering the questions requires that we revisit Allegan history. Pray bear with us. The Allegan Empire reached its zenith long before our kind came into being. In that glorious age, the Crystal Tower stood as tall as the symbol of Allegan pride. Parents took their children there, that they might learn that how the nigh limitless energy produced brought prosperity to the whole empire. That prosperity, however, made decadence, and the empire began to show signs of stagnation. This decline was made all more rapid for the want of strong leadership. Ooh! So I suddenly remembered. So you were watching Final Fantasy VII when I went into that dungeon? And I was killed by that giant. Now, sadly, you wasn't on the stream, but the Empire had a version of that giant that we killed during one of the dungeons today, like right before you arrived. But in this dungeon, we get to fight one of the eyeballs of the wings. And that eyeball, of course, as I said, is from Final Fantasy 1. But it's like there's a because it's a boss. They instead of making him just Araman, they've used because Araman already is like an old demonic name from a particular culture, but they've used a different translation for his name because you'll see why if we get to him. I hope we get to him because it'll be really cool to see the contrast in designs. In some games they just make that eyeball just a random enemy as well. There are versions of that eyeball in this game as a random enemy, but now I like that it's always associated with the void now. That prosperity, however, made decadence. The Empire began to show signs of stagnation. This decline was made all the more rapid for the want of strong leadership. In a matter of generations, Allegan civilization became a pale shadow of its former self. Its once gleaming cities fell into disrepair, and its frontier lands were given over to the wilderness. Lamenting the pitiful state of affairs, one technologist made it his mission to restore Allag to greatness. Amon was his name, and he believed the ailing empire wanted for a potent leader, none more potent than its founding father, whom he sought to resurrect. Amon was a random dude in the original Final Fantasy III. And the founding father, you cannot mean Emperor Xande. None other. As part of his experiments, Amon created clones of the Emperor's descendants. We're the products of that experiment. So yeah, they're definitely not the same Unai and Doga because they were not descendants of Xande. Nor was Amon a scientist. He was just a random skullman that you fought. Historical text mentions the reign of two Allegan emperors named Xande. It was commonly believed the second was the namesake of the first. After all, such a custom is not uncommon among royalty and commoners alike. I think the two were in fact one and the same. Xande returned from the grave and assumed his throne once more. And true to Amon's prediction, the Emperor restored his realm to glory once new. Would that have been satisfied with that? In his previous life, Emperor desired to bring the entire world under Allegan domination, an ambition that ultimately went unfulfilled. Having been granted a second chance, he was determined to succeed. So in the original Final Fantasy III, Xande never leaves that castle at the end. It's like the biggest problem with the early Final Fantasies, that a lot of the villains just sort of sit there for ages and go, yeah, I just hope somebody turns up at some point. And like 7 is quite clever with it, because you find out you haven't even been chasing Sephiroth. It's actually been Jenova this entire time. So he's got a pretty good reason for waiting for you. And Ultimecia is like in the future. Like she has to wait a lot longer than everyone else. But like before that, there's a lot of just monsters just go, oh, come on then. It's taking its time. Anyway, but and Xandé's like the worst example because they tell you all these bad things he's done. And it's like, he's done shit. He's just staying in his castle doing sod all. Realizing that he needed more power to wage his war of conquest, Xandé turned his sights towards the forbidden source of darkness. In order to learn how to harness this power, he converted the Crystal Tower to a restricted research facility. God, look how happy Nero was. More happy about that. Happy, just infectiously happy. Darkness again, 7 hells. What is it with megalomaniacal rulers turning darkness in their lust for power? Well, at least this one won't be bothering us. Being thousands of years dead and all. Dude, clones, have you not been paying attention? Would that you were right, Master Garland. Alas. Okay, I'm going to have to put a counter up because I swear that's like the 7th time somebody said alas. Emperor Xandé is very much alive within Syrcus Tower. He still abides, his ambition burning through all the more ardently with his empire's collapse. Wielding the power of darkness requires prodigious amounts of energy. Energy that not even the Crystal Tower could produce. In order to augment the shortfall, Dalamud was created and launched into the heavens. On high it hung, that's the name of the moon, gathering the sun's energy and channeling it to the tower below. However, a miscalculation resulted in a surge of energy that escaped into the land and triggered an earthquake of unprecedented violence. Why am I saying weird? The calamity that ushered the 4th Umbral era. So the eras, there's always like a light era and a dark era. So, you know, good, bad. And that's how they count time in this world. So we're in the 7th something era, I don't know. We're in the good era right now because we defeated the Empire. In the blinking of the eye, the mighty Allagan Empire was laid at rest. Yet even as the Crystal Tower was sinking into the earth, the technologists Amon, now Emperor Xandé's closest aide, evoked powerful magics and halted the flow of time. Every soul within the structure, the Emperor included, was placed within a deep slumber. In that state they were to remain until the time was ripe to awaken. Eras came and went. Eras. Look, I'm playing a Final Fantasy game. I see the word ERAS. I'm like, that's somebody's name, right? No, it's eras came and went. After millennia lying dormant, Dalamud was summoned back to Earth. Its descent triggered the 7th Umbral calamity. So in Final Fantasy VII, of course, Sephiroth is using ultimate destructive magic to bring down Meteor. And they even explain in Final Fantasy VII, all that spell does is grab a meteorite. Just grabs the closest one and slams it. The Dalamud happens to be a satellite, so it uses the recurring imagery of a thing slamming into the planet. Like, the calamity in this game was a moon, but it happened to have a big... Bahamut was in the moon. It was actually a jail cell for a dragon. But yes, but... Meteor doesn't come from Final Fantasy VII, it comes from Final Fantasy... One of the other ones. One of the earlier ones. I should have wrote this all down. No, actually I shouldn't. It's not important. 70-year-old John. I still remember all the Final Fantasy stories. What have you achieved in your life? I've just told you. Anyway, here he is. At that moment, Emperor Xandé was awakened. In his lust for power, the Emperor consorted with darkness and was seduced by its corrupting influence. Even though his empire is now a little more than a fading memory, he will stop at nothing to see his ambition realized. Not a capital E on, like, not a capital E on, like E-O-N, which means a similar word. It started with a capital E. 'Tis for no other purpose but to put an end to Xandé's madness that we exist. This is the mantle we inherited from our namesakes, the true Une and Doga. Fearing what might befall the world, 2 of them sought to thwart their emperor. They gave unto us their will, that we might carry on their mission should they fail. When we came to our senses within the tower Crystal Tower, we deliberated a course of action, concluding that we alone could not overcome Xande. We struck out to find a worthy ally. It has taken years, but our search finally over. It happened to be the people who were trying to get into the tower. I mean, that's why it's a bit weird that, like, oh, Unai and Toka. Those are strange names. No, it isn't. Not in the context of this game, it's not. There's no ordinary woman that can cut a path through the labyrinth of the ancients. With you as our champion, Naya Valtyrian, we're confident that we can end Xande's dark ambition once for all. Oh no, I might have already fought the eyeball. I hope not. Well, that'll teach me for speaking too soon. Setting my chagrin aside. Oh, there's my chagrin. I see now that why you knew about the students of Baldessian, among a host of other things. You were observing our investigation the whole time. What will we do, Naive? The world is in... Where did I get Naive from? Oh yeah, it was Aelf, and I changed it. World is in grave danger again. It so happens you are the expert at saving it. Oh no. Didn't do a nod this time. I'm gonna do a punch. By that I mean bow and arrow. With our eternal gratitude, let us see the Allagan's empire dark past laid to rest. It's been our mission to recover the long-lost knowledge of the Allagan civilization, but for what it's worth, that knowledge, if it means subjugating the realm to peril. Truth be told, it pains me to think the tower's secrets may become lost to us. The greater good must ever come first. Besides, the quantity of ancient relics can... You can tell these are written by different people, though. Like, again, we're very far away from medieval politics right now. Ancient relics can compare to our friends Una and Doga, living, breathing Allagans. So I hereby declare a change in Noah's objective. Henceforth, we shall direct all efforts towards sealing off Syrcus Tower. Its dark secrets must never know the light of day. Naive, as you did for us within the labyrinth of the ancients, I would have you enter the structure, eliminate hostile elements. Suffice to say, this includes Emperor Xander himself. Fun. Meanwhile, the rest of us shall examine the ways to isolate Syrcus Tower from the outside world. To work then! Also, we've just let this war criminal hear all of this. Oh shit, I've been doing this for 4 hours. 2 AM. Cat. Wait, there's something I must know. My right eye is like yours. Does this mean I'm an anime character? Yes, it does. Have you not noticed your cat? Inherited the trait from your father, who said, know that clones are unable to bear offspring with no cause for concern. Oh, TV's threatening to turn itself off. The Allagan Eye, you called it. To us, it's the Royal Eye, owing to the fact that the trait manifests only in possessed of royal blood. I cannot well explain why the eye runs in your line, but I'm disinclined to think it coincidence. Though you are doubtless impatient to learn the truth, pray have patience. All will be revealed in due time. Oh, exciting times! They said when Final Fantasy Remake 2 is coming out. Very excited, but it's next winter, so it's fucking ages away. I just need to stay. I want to hit some stuff, please, game. I know I changed from one track to another, but still, let me hit things. So, 2 mainline Final Fantasies are coming out next year: Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy Rebirth, I think they're calling it. And they have said it definitely is a trilogy. My apologies. I've given you cause to worry. And I think they had to make it open world, which the original The other game wasn't. I'm quite well, I assure you, as you can appreciate. Been much for me to think on. Curious how they're going to do that. But now is the time for action, not idle thoughts. Syrcus Tower awaits us. One of the things I'm kind of excited for is they've declared a mobile game called Final Fantasy Ever Crisis. They apparently they're going for the alphabet for some reason, and it looks like Final Fantasy VII, but like instead of like really super modern graphics, it's like modern chibi 3D. They've taken the original look of Final Fantasy and said, because everyone at the time went, oh, we don't want a new game, we want the old game but looking better. So they've done that. But I think the idea, because they said, oh, it's not just Final Fantasy VII, it's all of the Final Fantasy VIIs, like all the different eras, because they made extra games and stuff. And we're releasing it episodically, and it's a weird gacha game. So you play the scenes, but you might have extra characters that weren't there, and they might have extra powers. And I'm like, I'm not super keen on all the gacha stuff, but I do like the idea of just playing a remake that's not modern and fluffy. It just looks better. I just want it to look better. But I just want it turn-based and looking better. And so I'm quite happy for that. But like also mobile. So anyway, now's the time for action. Not idle thoughts. Syrcus Tower awaits us. The nod. Your task is to eliminate all hostile elements. That's good. That's what I'm good at. You don't even need to say anymore. I'll murder everything that moves. I do like that there's some self-awareness in this game as well. Like somebody said, I think Wedge said, oh, you'll kill everything that moves. And at least one character said, oh, you're just stoically going to nod back at me, are you? I will, before I do that, not this button. Fly. Oh, I can't fly here. Okay, I just wanted to point the screen at something that looked a bit like an Aurora Borealis at this time of year, at this location, entirely localized.
Good there.
That was weird.
Good Lord, what is happening in there?
Aurora Borealis?
Aurora Borealis. At this time of year, at this time of day, in this part of the country, localized entirely within your kitchen.
Yes.
May I see it?
No.
Ooh. What was I going to say? Oh, so there'll be a gambling element, I think. Yeah, because they showed a scene of Cloud and Aeris fighting Scorpion Boss, and Aeris wasn't around for the Scorpion Boss. So I think you roll for people and weapons and armor. Also, there's pictures of like Aeris wearing clothing that she wasn't wearing in the original game. So yeah, you gamble for like items and shit. Usually, the way they make the games, you can usually play them for free. I don't like them because obviously they make all their money from people who have issues with gambling. Like you know, it's perfectly fine for me to say, well, I'm patient, I'll just play for the game. But depending on how they do it, like some companies lean more into it than others. Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure. They've not actually said. Because it's a mobile game, I assume so. But they were actually making choices in battle rather than just auto fighting. It might be best for you to look a video up of it. It's called Ever Crisis. There would be a trailer out for like it the other day. we go, Syrcus Tower. That's what I wanted. Oh, I'll withdraw from Okay, I wanted to do this because I've got to queue up for it. Oh, hang on. I want to read the thing. So with the... okay. Oh, yes. You not get Eureka then, or was Eureka a part of that? Because, yeah, the last one is the darkness. And unfortunately, I don't think we'll see the eyeball tonight. Because I don't know how long it'll take for me to queue. It's very cool looking. One thing this game doesn't have that Warcraft does have is like an encyclopedia of everything you fought. It's a shame because like Japanese games love encyclopedias. If they've got all these, it'd be nice to just have one that said, "Oh, yeah, look at these dungeons you went in." Read a bit more about the things. Genuinely surprised they don't have that. But instead, they have quite an in-depth fishing. Because I don't know what it is about JRPGs, but they fucking love fishing minigames. Greetings, Alphanode informed me that the Scion would be arriving to help preparations. I'm honoured to meet you. Though shamed as well, a great warrior should not be tasked with such trivialities. I knew from a glance what manner of woman you were. I too have some skill at arms, as do many of our people. Pray forgive this trifle. I would have prepared a better trifle, extra layers, but I didn't have a lot of time, so it's just a trifle. But I might trouble you to help round up the children that have been given into my care. They are most adept at staying hidden. Oh, I've got to play hide and seek. Helps your keen eyes. Okay. Computer games. Okay. I perhaps should have possibly paid more attention to this quest. It's only 2, but my eyes are getting a little tired. This is Murgle. I just wanted to say hello, Murgle. Oh, never mind. Yes, I should warn you. There's going to be like 30 people. So, there's going to be an absurd amount going on the screen at once. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Final Fantasy III has the most bullshit ending. Not the ending of the plot, but like once you defeat Xander, you have to go into the world of darkness. And there are 5 bosses. And let's say you can kill 4 of those bosses reasonably easy. But Cloud of Darkness is so absurdly hard, and you just can't train. There are no save points. The only way to save is to redo the entire dungeon. And it's just... Before that, there were no save points. Save points were added in Final Fantasy IV. Final Fantasy III does not have save points. You can save outside. Okay, nobody told me to go left or right, so I just ran. So yeah, to beat the game, I had to play it in fast forward and train for an hour. and like not like ×3, like ×10 fast forward. It's absurdly hard. She's so strong compared to basically every other boss. Oh fuck! After you play a song. I mean, I'm told there's a dragon nearby, but I can't see it. Yeah, I think the eyeball might be a different section of the Crystal Tower. I think it might be in the World of Darkness, unfortunately. I'm going the cool side. Well, I'm going the popular side. Who knows if that's the cool side? Yeah, there's a great sense of, like, actual, like, thing, you know, a populated place. Like, I don't know if I'm doing anything to the bosses, but, like, there's a bunch of people here, and I know they're all real. It's Scylla! She's a dog lady. But these aren't tuned for, like, modern people. This came out when the game came out. So everyone in this is absurdly strong. Oh, I'm frozen. Takes the long way, bro. Not having a great time. A couple of us frozen there. Oh, there we go. Yeah, took loads of it. Hounds go silent, finally I may rest. Oh god, just imagine if you attached it. Oh, yeah, that would be a nightmare. Ooh, everyone's hat. Let me loot. Archer. I'm an archer. That's me. Need. No, I'm fine. Give me the hat. I want a skull hat. I've only just heard of it, but it's the thing I most want ever now. You can't even teleport. Who are you fighting? Archeron. You kill Archeron before I get here. You fought a green dragon. I should play you the song of my people. I think there's a couple other people who are eligible. I mean, there's going to be loads of people that are eligible. But, also, people probably already have the loot, because, like, I'm new and... But by the same approach, why is everyone here? Oh, I have to fight their clones. Oh, yes. I remember who the clones were now. It was Une and Doka. They had clones. You had to fight their clones in the... Because they just reused the assets. So it makes sense that they were the first clones introduced in this game. Okay. It's clever. Skull hat! I can't tell. I don't think I've won Skull hat. I want to go boing. Okay, I did the boing. Who are you? You're the glass. You're the bolus. He's getting glass here. Give me a better look at him. I love that they have these absurdly cool designs, and you're like, can you see? You can't even see him. Let me get that. I'm not even trying to kill him this time. I mean, I'll do the buttons. I just want to get a good shot of what he looks like. Look at him. He's green. He's mean, and he's possibly called Dean. He's definitely not called Dean. He's called Glassy and bonus. I like that. You know, he doesn't object to being called Dean. Oh, you know what? I know why everyone's here. Because they get their tombstones and buy stuff on them. It's probably the most efficient way of getting them. And probably the most fun way of getting them as well. Yeah, I don't know what the... You can fight these clockwork things. That was some fun. But yeah, when this came out, these would have been really difficult fights. Instead of us just going, "Way! There's a big party going on!" I don't want the gloves. Oh. Richard, oh no, I need... I want skulls for the skull trials of God. Oh, damn it. Trafalgar Law, get back in one piece and stop trying to get aim on stuff. He's a doctor. Why do you need his gear? What? It's a nice thing where it goes, oh shit, you're trapped outside. Did you mean to be in there? Yes, put me back in. Okay. Listen. Oh, are you just reading a book? No, I'm a wizard. You're not a wizard, you're just reading a book. You know someone's reading a book. So I would judge all the cat ladies in the dancer outfits, but I won't lie, the only reason I'm a bard is because I literally saw like a piece of gear and I was like, I want the bard outfit. I want because it was like a futuristic, like modern one. Yeah, there's Amon. This is the gear I want. He is a skull man. You can see his face. You see. Somebody else is playing that song. No, listen to my song. It's a better song. Okay, to be fair, it kind of looks like it'd be too big for me. Yeah, I'm quite tall. And then the bunny lady's quite tall. There he is, we see him. He's like a matador. Oh, I am about to die. That's probably why I shouldn't be standing in front of him. I wouldn't really make fun of him. I tend to lean into trying to get cool looking gear because I don't want to break the immersion of the plot rather than sort of having flimsy clothing gear. But each to their own. Also, it just occurred to me that Dancer is an actual class in this game, so they might actually be dancers. Ooh, he's doing a thing. I'll keep hitting him. Oh, I died. That was poor timing. I want his gear. Give me his gear. So dancers have a kind of a funny. I want England's coat as well. Give me his coat. Need. Okay, hopefully they teleport me to him. So, as I said before, in Final Fantasy 1. No, fuck it, I have to skip this because they'll seal me off. No. Let me in, I want to fight the boss. Oh, I pressed that at exactly the wrong time. Yes, okay. In Final Fantasy 1, there were 6 classes, or 12 because we got upgraded. So it was Monk, Thief, Fighter, Red Mage, White Mage, Black Mage. But there was a dancer in that game. The dancer's job was, right at the start of the game, a dude says, hey, if you ever start questions what to do, speak to the dancer. And the dancer in that game just gave you hints of what to do. There's games. In like, they keep turning up though. They're just sort of characters that do funny animations, dances, but they're on a SNES. And then eventually, dancers started being a class that you could play. I think they're like the Bard, they're a buff class. Yeah, the fact that somebody rezzed me rather than holding their res for somebody important sort of says how easy this is. Yeah, sure. I'll res the low level person. Normally you save your reses for the tanks. That tank you die. Save all my reses for the bunny guys. I have no idea what's going on right now in this fight. I shall attack. Darkness. Okay, I'm not the only person who died. But I think the same person visited me again. Oh, I didn't die. I was close. Nice. I had 69 health, which is nice. Yeah, and you know what? That is literally a dancer. They have the wheels. So that is what that gear set is. You can change what you're... You can change what you're looking like. It's called glamours. So you can be wearing one armor set, but it can look like anything. Player commentation. Somebody healed me, but it wasn't any of you. Give me the aim on gear. I don't want Scylla's stuff. I do want this onion out there. Cool. I want that as well. So I'm a bard. And I want nothing else. Phlegathon. Did I not get any of the cool loot I wanted? I'm just waiting for everyone to leave so I automatically get the rest. It's probably what everyone else is doing as well. I don't want any of that. I'll just check my loot just in case. I might have won it without knowing. Well, the Xande card as well. So the Onion Knight is the main character of Final Fantasy 3. You get 4 Onion Knights and they get jobs later on. Let's summon the Onion Knight. I'm gonna finally leave. No skull gear. Yes. So yeah, occasionally you'll see characters in wildly inappropriate clothing. You did it! You defeated Emperor Xande! Empires may rise and fall, but the man's indefatigable spirit ever lives on. Truly you are a champion we'd hope for, Naya Valtirian. Emperor Xande now at eternal rest. His dark legacy may be undone. It says bloopy bloop. What are you playing at now, Nero? In case you haven't noticed, Garland, it's a dangerous surrounds. Can a man be faulted for exercising due caution? Yeah, that. Sad Snow is correct. Response. I didn't even know it existed. Oh no, I want cool skull gear. You needn't mind me. I'm perfectly capable of looking after myself. Go on and finish what you came to do. Could have been a skull matador. My ears wouldn't have fit inside anyway. Woo. How's it going? I was trying to avoid that word, but it's quite hard to ask that question without it. There are 2 ways you may seal off Syrcus Tower: either isolate it from the outside world or cripple its ability to produce energy. The choice or method is yours to make. Before you proceed, however, Dogo and I must needs attend a task. Void. The distortion, what is it? Discharge it, it's the void. Oh, yes. Yeah, I get it. I'm playing Pokemon Go. See what you did there. The power Xande sought to obtain comes from the void, the world of darkness, as our people put it. The true nature of that power was none other than the armies of the Void Sent. Void Sent feed on ether. As you already know, Void Sent feed on ether. No plane is richer than ours. In exchange for their allegiance, Xande entered into an unholy covenant. He would open a gate through which the Void Sent can freely enter our world. The covenant, I'm afraid to say, is still in effect. However, being of an Empress lineage, Unai and I believe we can unnone it. By his blood, Xande sealed his dark pact. By our blood, it shall be undone. Ooh. Yes, Duga. Yeah, that generation has, like, what is it? Straight up a... I'm trying to remember what the things are now. Never mind. I can't remember what the new generation ones look like. Oh yeah, that pig. Oh, I've forgotten what it's called. It's not the one I was thinking of, but it's still funny. fair enough. Sometimes they release Pokemon and they're just like, that's just a dog. That's not a Pokemon. That's just a dog. There's not even a monster at this point. It's going widdly woo. Why did we let Nero in here? Oh, be still, my beating heart. I've caught a Mewtwo. For a moment I feared this outing would end in disappointment, but my readings were not mistaken. Not even Ultima Weapon compares to this. What are you going on about? Wispy Woo made thingy go bloop bloop. Covenant is everlasting. Got a slight headache. Oh, I've got the power of the echo. You know what? I didn't realise he literally did that as well. So, Marasida is brought into the fold. Soon all the world will be united under Allagan rule. And yet, every dream that becomes reality. So, this is us. We can, at least somebody else noticed that he just sits there. What was I going to say? So this screen means I'm looking at somebody's memory right now. With every dream that becomes reality, the memory of death grows ever more vivid, endless void bereft of light and warmth. Though I may have defeated death, it may not leave me unscathed. Nay, its ravening claws have scarred my soul for eternity. Never shall I know peace. What? Beings without will, you cannot fathom my range, my melancholy, my fear. What worth is wealth and power, when all must inevitably be consigned to nothingness? Man has nothing, he need not know the pain of loss. So let there be nothing. No, Xande, that's terrible reasoning. Harvest more power, the gate may be thrown full open. Let the cloud of darkness come and engulf the world, devouring all life, hopes and dreams. Be sure to get their dreams. Don't just take our lives. Let all be returned to nothingness. Pull yourself together. What about the 14 other people I brought with me? Is there no end to them? What in seven hells is happening? Oh, pull yourself together, Tia. Oh, not now, damn it. Oh, this looks fun. I wish I could join in. Where did you get the gunblade from? You didn't fight with a gunblade, you had a hammer. Nero, were they part of your grand plan too? Save your jeeps, Garland. We'll have set aside a night for japes. I'm looking forward to it, but not right now. Something controls them. A void sent. No ordinary one at that. Noga. Noga! Confound it. Without them, there's no way to master the darkness. Power is mine. Nero! Oh no, not Nero. What will we do about his war crimes? Might be the same Nero then. The Covenant shall be honoured. I am the cloud of darkness. I shall devour your light. Return this world to the void. Damn it, the rift is gone. What are you supposed to do now? As much as it pains me to leave without them, it's precious little we can do. Let us return to find and consult with Ambrose. Fun. Right. As much as I'd like to immediately go back and you know, continue with that quest line, I suspect that I will involve having 30 minutes of a cutscene happen first. So instead, oops, I think I might just go to sleep. It's almost 3 AM. But yeah, I'll probably play this just this weekend because it's free this weekend. Oh, I got a player commentator. Oh, stay away from me, I guess. It's Friday night though. Yeah, my eyes are. I had to defeat the evil emperor. Otherwise, he might have done something. He did sort of look like he was just sitting in a chair, but he had plans. He was totally going to get around to taking over the world or something. Okay, come back here. I think do want a bunch of stuff. Yeah, we'll come back here. I want to be in a city where I'm resting. The good news is that my allergies. So I washed this green screen. I put loads of. I bought some like dust allergy spray that you're supposed to put it on and then vacuum the next day. But I also like washed all these cushion covers and everything because presumably they're just covered in dust after years. And that seems to have helped a lot. So yeah, probably should do that more often. I think I'm in Sanctuary right now, or do I have to go in this particular room? Not done Ampetor's Keep. Are you sure? I'm just a little curious. I'm just gonna. Yeah, I wasn't because I tried the spray thing before, but sometimes I just forget to do the fact because you're supposed to vacuum up because it's still there. Otherwise, it just kills dust mites. Stuff. So that might be why my eyes hurting right now. Okay. Those fire tokens. Uncanny knickknacks. Oh, there's Tetsuka. John, not now. Let's just see if there's quests here. Oh, I've not got a retainer. Okay. You can make a second character just to go shopping for you. It's sort of weird. It's fine. I'm just confused about Amphator Key. Did I not do that? Oh, I've not done it. Oh, I've not done it. They add that. I might have missed that. Okay, cool. Got a dungeon we should do. Did I do another Amphator thing, or did I get it confused with a different... Yeah, I did the Lost City of Amphator. I've not done Amphator Keep. But I have done Pharaoh Sirius. Anyway, yeah, I should get more of that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna let you go. This has been, of course, part of my. Now let's. This. Oh, that's the wrong button. Do this. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn. This, of course, has been a part of my quest. Complete all the Final Fantasy games, even the weird side games. Probably don't count, apart from maybe Final Fantasy 11 and like Crystal Chronicles, because they're not player focused. Some of them are really hard. I'll see how I feel about when I get to those particular games, I guess. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I've been... Where's my snail? Here we go. I've been John Strutt. Me and my Naive Alterian Rabbit Ranger have been having a hell of a time. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to go sleep now. Farewell.